Welcome back, friends. The last commercial break that you'll have to stick around with us through today, because like we said, we're giving you a little overtime because we love you. So we're here, as you can see, another in-studio guest is a good friend of ours, Allison Farkas, owner of Saute and Soiree. And it's something that it's a very unique business and something that I think at times people just kind of lump in with caterers, right? So why don't you tell everybody what is Saute and Soiree?
Okay, I will. Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
So Saute and Soiree is, well, you can think food and party if you want to go back to basics. But basically, I offer virtual and in-person experiences. I put together experiences that are fun, engaging, social, and co-creative. I say co-creative because everyone is sort of hands in towards an end goal. And I use food and cooking and drink as a vehicle to do that, basically. Yeah.
Love that. So it's a culture building, you're learning a new skill, camaraderie. Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
So what inspired you to jump in to do something like that?
So I have always been a person that loves meeting new people, loves hearing their story, loves bringing people together and feeding them. It's really very much a reflection of who I am. My business is almost a mirror image of who I am. So there's a lot of passion behind it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this type of business, I'm sure, if you are looking, let's say you're hosting a party for your family or relatives, but also if you are a business owner and you're looking for some type of team building,
Yes,
right, event,
yes.
something along those lines, that this would be something that could fit
Yes.
in that space.
Yes, absolutely. So for in-person, of course, I don't really work in a kitchen. The space that I work in is in your kitchen. It's in someone's kitchen. So you have that sort of intimate, familial vibe right away.
Right.
And so if it's your family and your friends, just imagine like Sunday, there's a game on, your friends come in and you're making a sauce.
Right.
Hey Joe, can I help you? And it's more out of love and passion and a desire to, make this with you and while you're talking and conversing. So it's really rooted in that. And so if you do it in person or even virtually, everyone is making the same thing, and everyone's dish looks different at the end. One person may not be making fish, but everyone is basically making the same thing, and we're talking, we're learning about each other, and we're doing something creative, and food is at the center of it. I mean, if food isn't the center of all great conversation, I don't know what is.
Right, no, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's definitely the thing about food, as you're mentioning, is it's a lot of, if I was listening to you right now and I didn't know it was about food, I'd be thinking you're talking about something like an art, because it's personal, right?
Yes.
And so in that same way, food is just that. It can be an art. We just had a chef on earlier. It's going to be that person's creation. So what you're doing with this is helping the people to kind of express themselves in their food, right? What they're going to create, because they're just doing an individual thing.
Yes.
But I can see that being an excellent way for, a team, a business to get to know each other better, learn more about what it is about that, as it makes them tick, but how they can bond together, how they can work together, what things make sense for that person. Oh, I understand now, based on what they did, how they operate. This is great.
For sure, especially in a virtual setting. Let's say a company has, so many companies are remote now, and let's say a fully remote company, as an example, just onboarded 3 people in California, and then they haven't met anyone on the East Coast, and sure, they're getting together for a Q1 sales meeting, or they're networking, but are they doing something fun, a release, something creative, where there's conversation flowing that's social? So they say at the end, oh, I didn't know, Joe lives near my cousin, and I didn't know that Justin, he's been to Ireland, and my family, it's an opportunity to open conversation and to connect.
Right.
So, obviously food connects people, but in the virtual setting, it's just a way to have conversation while doing something that most people love.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so a big thing we talk about, I would say week to week, a common theme is kind of goals, where we're going, aspirations.
Yes.
So where do you see this business going? What are the goals for the coming years?
So I would love to continue doing just this for as long as I can. It brings me joy to bring people together and see them, having a good time and making food. And so that's very satisfying to me. But I would say the big dream, something that I'd really love to do, is have a show where I've got a camera behind me, someone with a camera, and I'm knocking on a door, right? I'm knocking on a door. Let's pick the greater Philadelphia area as an example, but I'd like to have America as my canvas. So I'm knocking on your door on Sunday night and you're making something. You open the door, I'm coming. Hey, Allison, great to have you. And what do I smell, Justin? It smells so good in here. We go over to your kitchen, you've got this going on. You're like, well, I'm making, and then we engage in conversation. I learn, is this a family recipe? What did you put in this? Can I taste it? We're talking, and we're engaging through food, because it's at the root of so much. So how does this relate to, is this a family recipe? Where did you buy these spices? Do you sit down with your, friends and eat this on Monday nights? It's just opening up the conversation and having people tell their stories through food and culture. So that's just something that I'd love to do. There's so many cultures all around this great city alone, but definitely in this country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Food Network, don't you try stealing that. And if you do, make sure you're talking to my girl Allison.
That's right.
But and there's been some similar themed type things, but usually we see this through Tuscany, through the places like that are very, well, that's great. But
yes.
do we see this here's what it is in South Philly?
Yes, right. And there's so many cultures.
That's the thing. Yeah. I don't know that they have a show like that local, but maybe RBN.
Yes, I would like to be, I would. And I also have a fascination with foreign language. I speak Spanish fluently. I have a good command of Italian. I'm listening to Russian on Audible. I love foreign language. I studied abroad, so I have an appreciation for foreign culture as well. So, and of course, that ties into food all the time.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, so why don't you let the audience know how can they connect with you? Where can they follow you? If they want to use your services, where can they find more about all that?
Thank you. So I have a website. It's www.Saute and Soiree. So I'll spell it because there's another one out there that's similar. It's SAUTEANDSOIREE.com. I can also be found on LinkedIn, Allison Cumble Farkas, and my email is allison@sauteandsoiree.com. So, yeah.
Fantastic. And before we wrap here, why don't you let us know what is a favorite recipe of yours? Not to put you on the spot.
No,
but
it's okay.
What do you thoroughly enjoy? What's your Sunday meal that you like to prepare?
So I don't know about Sunday meal, but I'm going to go with a salad, and the reason why I say salad is because there's three things for me that make a great salad: a cheese, a fruit, and a nut. So sometimes you go to a restaurant and there's it's almost like a fruit salad in a salad. The cranberries, the blueberries, and I don't want that. But if you take, let's say, grapes, or even roast the grapes, and a good cheese, like a manchego cheese or pecorino cheese, and then you have a nut. Always toast your nuts. They just have so much more flavor. So like a toasted walnut, and make an easy vinaigrette in a jar, some bitter greens like arugula and radicchio. That to me is heaven. Maybe a piece of seared salmon on top.
There you go, friends. Well, I've been fortunate enough to be over at your home and be a part of some of your happy hours. We filmed some content together.
Yes.
I can tell you there's always delicious snacks and things that I've never even thought of. I'm trying to think of what you did last time. You dried something that was it was a very unique. I can't remember what it was. Wasn't like a jar. Maybe it was your prosciutto. Don't you?
Yes, that is such a hit. Yes, it's if you take any thinly sliced meat like sopressata, prosciutto that you can buy in the deli area of the grocery store, and set your oven to, let's say, 390, not quite 400, on a piece of parchment, and you lay it on the parchment. Keep an eye on it. It will basically shrivel up, and the fat will render out, and it'll turn into a chip, not a fried chip, not battered in any way. And it's crispy and thin and salty and so good. So those are always a hit with cocktails, mocktails.
Yeah. And that piggybacks our propane, because we're using propane when we do that.
That's
so you see how we brought that all together,
I
friends?
love that.
All
Tied it all
around.
together.
That's right. The big circle. And to bring it into the bigger circle, you can do all that while you're watching our birds this weekend in your tailgate or house party. So again, all back into one big circle. So For sure. So if anyone's interested, make sure, and if you're not interested, it'd be well worth the time to investigate. Please check out Allison's website, Saute and Soiree, again, 2 E's at the end, and you'll be able to get some great ideas as well as how to find out, reach out to her to engage with her to have an event for possibly your business and to listen. Who doesn't love food, right? To get around that. You know?
I agree with you. Thank you, gentlemen. I
Absolutely.
appreciate the time.
Absolutely.
Thank you
so
much
for being here. I really
Yes,
appreciate
thank
it.
you.
So listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to end on that wonderful note. Thank you so much for being here and being with us today. We appreciate it. Morning coffee on Thursday, getting you ready for the weekend. Please tune into the other shows, of course. We are, of course, the best morning coffee. We love you. We know you're here, our fans. But please, do give the others some grace. They're on as well, Friday morning coffee with our friends Mike Barretto and Hope. And I guess that's it. We had a wonderful show today, wonderful guest. I want to thank Tyler for being on today. Marcus, as usual, giving us some great information. Allison here, Chef Chermay. And so thank you so much for everyone here at RVN. Justin Deal, Allison, our special guest. I want to thank you so much. Have a great day. Well, actually,
Great day.
take your line.
the best day ever.
There
you
it
guys
is.
know what
I
it
just
is.
would settle for great.
The best
Yeah.
day
We have the
ever.
best. That's
it.
why Justin's here. He's the amplifier. He's the plus one. He's a little extra, but it's okay. We like that.
Let's make sure to support those birds. Think
right.
of some of Allison's snacks. Use those propane grills, and let's get after it, friends. Let's cheer those birds on to victory.
go.
NFC champs, baby. Let's go. Best day ever, friends. Enjoy
Best
the
day
week.
ever.
Folks.